on air, we'll add them in.
Okay, we are live. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this essential oils hangout. We're going to be talking today about essential oils, supplements, and foods. Mostly essential oils because that's what our key focus is. We're going to talk about how those essential oils will support you in pursuit of peace and relief in from weakness and violence to body, mind, spirit. Now we know that's a little bit of a convoluted title. We understand that that's a little bit strange, but we really want to come at this from both a perspective of science and a perspective of sort of universal energy. I'll call it that. Because really, when we talk about body, mind, spirit, we recognize that that these three elements work together in a way that most of us just don't understand, and it's not for us to understand. What we need to understand is that they do work together and how to use those elements in our best interest, and to recognize that the natural elements on this planet are put here for our well-being. So with that, I just want to say that we are happy to have you. I do want to add a little note here that we may face some technical challenges. I mean, that's the nature of this technology. Sometimes things happen. So if by any chance we kind of freeze out, or the screen goes blank, or one of us drops off, just be patient with us. Know that we are coming right back as soon as we can, as soon as we can get our equipment working again, and we will be right back on message with you. That said, my name is Shakira Abdul-Ali, by the way, and I'll tell you my story in a minute, but I want to introduce my partner and my colleague and my sister friend, Niamo Davis, Niamo Mui Davis, and Niamo will tell us what we're going to talk about today. Niamo?
Okay, great. I'm ecstatic to be here, and welcome everyone. This is an exciting time. It's the beginning of a new initiative for us to know that these essential oils are just not only nature's living energy, but so essential to our own bodies, minds, and spirits. And I want to tell you what we'll be doing today, what you'll get from this session. The first thing is that in terms of that whole weakness piece and the assault on the body, mind, spirit, you're going to learn how these essential oils can provide prevention support to you and your family. That's the number one thing you will get. You'll also learn a little bit about the chemistry of the oils, about the frequencies and the energy, the vibrational energy of the oils that have to do with how it is that the oils get delivered, or rather deliver support to our bodies. And so it's that realm of why the essential oils are essential to your lives that you will walk away with from here. You will also walk away with from here how to get the oils and how to use the oils. I have some oils and some juice behind me. I'm going to demonstrate how to use these oils, okay? And that's what you'll get out of today.
Okay.
Shakira?
Okay. Good. And so also I want to make one more disclaimer here. I want to let everyone understand that we are not dispensing medical advice in any way. And in fact, I want to just read this statement for the record. This information is provided for general information purposes only. The materials presented within this webinar do not constitute medical or pharmaceutical advice. This medical and pharmaceutical advice should be sought from qualified medical and pharmaceutical advisors. And so we are really offering this information as a complementary approach to your preventative and supportive practices. So I want to be very clear, crystal clear. Both of us want to be very crystal clear about that. We are not offering medical advice. That said, Niamo, I would love for you to tell your story, because your story about these oils really kind of introduces mine. So
Yes.
please share
Yes.
with us how you got started.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to do that. And first up, I got a text from someone who says there's no volume. Please just check everything. Restart your laptop or your computer if you must, to ensure that all the systems are go. Close down all the windows, and you should have volume. Okay. So I was introduced to the oils by sister friends as part of a sisterhood group, African medicine women, and we were anointed with the oils once a month. And I began to purchase samples, and I found out that while other friends of mine were going through a lot of sweating and a lot of mood swings and a lot of headaches and other things, even though I did have some.
Niamo?
Yes, can you hear me?
Niamo, yes, but I think you are engaging in a lot of movement, and it's really causing the camera to lag. So if you could just kind of slow it down just a bit, I think that the camera will then capture everything you're saying.
Okay. So
I apologize for interrupting.
So no problem. So I want to just say that I was introduced to the oils by a sister friend, and I noticed that I had a very easy menopausal experience. Didn't have a lot of night sweats. Didn't have a lot of other stuff happening. Got introduced to those oils specific to women and their issues, such as neroli, such as clary sage. Also got introduced to oils, essential oils like cypress at that time. And the cypress was excellent for my knees. I could walk better. I was introduced to a nutrient infusion called Ninja Red. And Ninja Red has lemon and orange and other oils in it. And these I found were excellent in improving my vision dramatically, such that my prescription got weaker. They said that they don't usually have people whose prescription becomes weaker, and that's what happened in my case. And so that was astounding for me. What else happened? I found that I was able to locate, and we'll talk about this later, a sense of joy within myself and love, self-love within myself, with the assistance of the food that the oil supplied to me. That was a major, major benefit to my mental state at the time, going through a divorce, which was actually amicable. And I know the oils helped me have an amicable transition. So that's basically it, Shakira. And I also used oils on my mother. I cleared up a fungal toe that she had with the lemon oil. And I began to see more and more results with the people who I shared oils with. That's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. So I don't know exactly what period of time you're talking about, but I can tell you that you introduced me to the oils in 2008. And I know that it was 2008 very specifically because 2007, that entire year, I spent in and out of doctors' offices, specialists, trying to figure out a way to breathe. 2007 was the worst year I've ever had. I have been kind of asthmatic from the time that I was a very young child, going in and out of hospital on emergency bases because, you know, my airwaves were just constricted, couldn't breathe. And 2007 was the worst year in my life. I used to ride the train in the morning, like 6 a.m., going from Trenton into Newark. And I would get on the train in the morning, and you know, at that time of the morning, people want to be quiet. You know, they're still really kind of waking up and really just want some quiet time to get before they have to face the challenges of the day. I'd get on the train hacking and coughing. You know, on a crowded train, people would get because they didn't want to catch whatever they thought I had. And it was, you know, it was asthma. You can't catch asthma. But I was miserable. It was a horrible, horrible year. So by the time 2008 rolled around, you know, I had been to the doctor multiple times trying to get, you know, getting multiple prescriptions, none of which worked. Niamo, you invited me to a product show here in New Jersey, and I mean, I listened to the testimony. I didn't know that there was any relevance for me, but something sounded intriguing. I wasn't even sure what it was, and I bought a kit. I bought a pretty large kit, as a matter of fact. I bought the oils and the Ninja Red that you mentioned, and a few other products, and I just really kind of put them away. I didn't know really what to do with them. But I'm still, in the meantime, just suffering so miserably. But I decided, and I that was probably early in this, maybe the early spring of 2008. And then in the summer of 2008, there was another product show. And I went to that product show and I listened more carefully. And at the time I had been in a 23-year or so marriage. And my husband was suffering from diabetes, and I remember people talking about Ninja Red, and I had some of that Ninja Red, so I brought it home, and I had some of it home, so I did a little experiment with the man I was married to, and I encouraged him to drink, you know, a couple of ounces of Ninja Red every day, and for about a month. And I remember very clearly around the end of that month, he woke me up one morning and showed me his blood sugar reading. It was normal, and he hadn't taken his insulin for a couple of days, and he didn't take it because when he took it one time, it got too low, and he felt the effects of having low blood sugar. So I thought, okay, so maybe this stuff really works. So I started paying more attention to what the products were, and I, through looking through the product material, I came across a kit called the Golden Touch Kit, and it said that it was for wintertime colds and allergies and things like that. Like, you know, it would support the body in managing and handling those wintertime conditions. So I thought, well, let me try it. So I ordered the kit, and sure enough, probably around October, I got an onset of the flu. I know it was the flu that I was beginning to experience, because, you know, you wake up and you get the metal taste in your throat. You know, you get that kind of metal taste, and your body aches all over the place. I had that in that morning. And so what I did was I took the oils, the single oils in that kit, and I put a drop or two, no more than 2 drops, I'm sure, in a cup of tea. And I took that tea, and it wasn't in the morning, it was at night. I took it just before I went to bed. And the next morning I woke up and my body wasn't aching. And so I thought, well, let me try some more. And I took another, made another cup that morning. And by the end of the day, I literally was able to get myself up out of bed and get some work done. And I noticed that I was no longer coughing and hacking in the way that I had been. And I've got to tell you that from October 2008 until this past year, actually, I did not take any steroid inhalants, and those were the things that I had been relying upon to breathe. And it was just an amazing thing for me. I mean, the coughing subsided so substantially. the mucus, there was a huge reduction in the mucus. I mean, I can't even describe it. Can't even describe it. It was just phenomenal what I experienced. And in the course of these years, I have discovered many other ways in which the oils have been a support to me and to my family members. Getting rid of infections, getting rid of just all kinds of skin conditions, and my grandson had a terrible. My grandson was about 6 months old at this point, and he and my daughter brought him up to visit. They live in Atlanta, and he'd been here for about 3 days or so, and I noticed the boy hadn't had any bowel movements. So I'm like, what's wrong? She's so, he gets into these, he gets into these situations, and I have to give him medication or whatever she was doing to help him move his bowels. And I took just a drop or two of Digest and I rubbed it across his tummy, and inside of about 2 hours he had like a diaper full. So I swear by these oils. I mean, I will never be without them. So anyway, that's my story. So I wanted to see if there was anybody on the hangout who can share with us their name and where they're from. I don't know if that's possible, but if it is, we would love to know if you are in the room and would have a concern that you would like to share with us. If it's possible for you to do that, if you could type in the chat box, which should be open. If you look at it, look to the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, or maybe underneath the screen. If you could chat your name and where you're from, and if you have a question or a concern that we can address while we're on this webinar, that would be great. If not, we will continue. If I don't see anything, then we'll just go on. Yes.
So I'm getting some text messages, and people are wondering how to actually. One person thought that she was joined, and I said, well, see if you can chat, because we don't see you as joined. Another person wanted the link. I've sent her the link.
Okay.
Can hear us and now can hear us. What we're trying to do, folks, is we want we want to presence you as well. So far, what I have in terms of who's in the room is I have Melissa Rowe from Canada, and I wish if you can join the chat, please do, or if you can visually join us, do that. I also have Cerise Thomas. I don't know where she lives, but if you can type in your name and where you're from, that's requested. I have Zakia Zalima from, I think, Newark, East Orange area, and Gail Lowry Davis from Morristown, New Jersey. Kalila Kendall Eatman has just is striving to join us from North Carolina.
Okay, and I see a Finn calendar.
Oh, and that's Canada. That's my cousin, Finn.
Oh, okay.
Finn Calendar. Great, great.
What? Great. Okay. Good. All right. Well, I don't know if they can figure out a way to get their questions to us, but in any case, we will try to address that at a later point. We'll just continue on, and if we can figure out a way to help you ask questions, we will do that. We may have to use another platform the next time we do this. There's another way to do that, but we'll figure that out. In any case, so why don't we now move on to the next, to the portion of the meat of our presentation, where we talk a little bit about the oils and how they help us. Yeah,
the history of aromatherapy is 5,000 years old. Oils were found in King Tut's tomb, in a lot of the ancient ruins of ancient Egypt, whereas the gold and all that stuff, the gold and the wealth of nations, in fact, was uh, left in some of these ancient tombs. It was the essential oils that were taken, and they were not evaporated. They actually were stolen, and that is because the essential oils of plants are indeed the lifeblood of the plant, and they are nature's medicine for the plant. And of course, they come from all kinds of things, and the green matter of the trees, the bushes, the plant, the root, the flower, the leaves, the sap. So there are a lot of uh, essential aspects of why it is that that plants depend on oils. That's why they're called essential, because without them, the plants could not survive and thrive. And so that's like the number one thing to really get, that the usage of oils has been as the human being's medicine since time immemorial. And the first ways of getting access to oils was by pressing the leaves or the flowers in what we now call effleurage. They would press the leaves and flowers and get that substance that was so rich and smelled so good. And it developed that these constituents in plants were identified and studied by science and researched to figure out how they help the plant. And the way this has come down to us is that we rely generally on prescription medications. And a lot of our prescriptions and medications and over-the-counter entities that we take advantage of and just depend on, such as aspirin, contains methyl salicylate, and it's from the white willow bark. Has a similar has methyl salicylate, and many other essential oils have the constituents that promote healing, or promote a feeling of sedation, or promote a feeling of analgesic, in other words, numbing quality, so that the body can feel better. So there's a relationship of the essential oils to modern medicine that is sometimes glossed over, but it is indeed the genesis of many of the oils, in fact, are indeed the genesis of the prescription and medications that many of us take for granted. It is by studying the movements, the action, the impact, the chemical actions on different aspects of a plant, that we have extracted those constituents that do those certain things, and therefore we see them coming up in our medications. And so that's number one piece that we want to make sure that we understand. Essential oils are not foreign, really, especially to the prescription, the pharmaceutical, and the perfume industries. There was a period where the most usage of essential oils was in perfumery. Okay, but originally they were used again to soothe the body. Frankincense and myrrh and other oils were brought to the Christ child. There's a little story that the gold that's discussed in terms of the frankincense and myrrh and the gold being brought by 3 wise men, that gold was in fact, there's something happened in the translation of the Aramaic or the Hebrew. That's actually a reference to what we now know is fir, a balsam fir, an oil that is an excellent oil for calming, centering, strengthening. And so there were really 3 oils, is one of the stories that is circulating now. And these are histories, right? So the oils were used for anointing very heavily in our churches and our houses of worship in the earlier days. And actually, the history of early Christianity is replete with stories of how essential oils were used to not only on the feet of Jesus Christ and not only for anointing, you know, in the special anointing oil of or uncture of Moses, but also in general. You would know in ancient times, you would know that the king and his entourage were coming through your town because the oil smell, the scent, the aroma would precede the coming of the royalty. And so some oils were reserved for royalty, okay? And so oils that we now see in the health food store and keep them over there and think that it's like the concept of snake oil. You know, there's no science behind it. There is so much science behind it. And they were very much more integrally related into everyday life than they are now. Okay? And the natural sources are still sources that we depend upon for goodness in our lives. Frankincense being the number one, and that is why it is still used in Christian churches and other houses of worship, okay, for that scent that is known and has been found because of what's in it. It says the terpenes help to calm the person, help to raise their connection, their feelings of connectivity. And so these are documented, researched aspects of essential oils that began in prehistory. Okay, the final thing I want to say about the history is that, or about what essential oils are, is that they provide to plants the same prophylactic and signaling and nutrient carrying properties that that our own human blood provides to our bodies. They do that for the plants. And so that's what you have with essential oils. You have a wonderful, they're very complex. They may have hundreds of constituents. They're still being studied deeply, researched deeply. PubMed.com has a lot of studies on essential oils and their value. Okay, and that is the fact that they're complex is a testament and a one of the reasons why they work so well with the human body, because the human body is a very complex organism as well. So there's synergy between our use of essential oils and our body's acceptance of the essential oils. Okay, that's it.
Sure, absolutely. One of the things I like to say is that God didn't put us in a garden for no reason. Um, I just wanted to share with you with our guests some information that kind of backs up what you're talking about in terms of the research that has been done on essential oils. This is an organization, ARACE, the Association for the International Research of Aromatic Science and Education. This is an organization that has dedicated itself to the research, the transformational qualities, I'll put it that way, of plants, shrubs, flowers, roots. These are all the materials from which are produced essential oils. And so this particular organization is really dedicated to the science of that material. It's a membership organization, and both Nyamo and I are, and our team members are part of the organization. We support the organization, and therefore have an opportunity to get, you know, the latest research on what these oils can actually do for the body, and for the well-being of, you know, of the human spirit. And this is just one of the organizations. We are also affiliated with, or I should say Nyamo is also affiliated with another organization, and I'll let her talk about that one.
Yes, that's the Institute of Spiritual Healing and Aromatherapy. And this organization was designed and really was the inspiration of a woman who uses essential oils who had been a nun for 20 years. And she is also a registered nurse. So she became dedicated to bringing the anointing aspect of using essential oils back into the Christian church. That's the Healing Touch Spiritual Ministry Program. That's one aspect of what it is, the Institute of Spiritual Healing and Aromatherapy, you call it ISHA, is dedicated to. The other aspect is that they train people in attaining their certification in clinical aromatherapy program. It's just a wonderful process, a very intensive process. It's approximately 500 to 600 or 700 hours of study for the certification in clinical aromatherapy. I am currently in the program. I have two certificates from the first two segments of the program. And what you learn in the ISHA certification program is the wisdom of the oils. You learn to respect the oils. It is a profound experience just learning how the chemistry affects the aroma. And it's just a wonderful, this is a wonderful organization to be a part of. And as part of the certification process, we also learn a little bit about Healing Touch, how to use the oils in a way that helps people feel better. Let's say if they're in recovery or they're in pain, we learn some Healing Touch techniques as well as part of the clinical aromatherapy program. I highly recommend that you all look into this program because Isha is around the world. Linda Smith, the founder, just completed teaching in Australia, and she's taught, I believe, in Europe. She's taught in Canada, definitely, and there are many teachers that she has certified to teach the various programs, and they're available to people as well, all around the country.
Okay. All right, so let's move into a discussion around the conditions, the common conditions that confront us on a daily basis that that we say produces the weakness and the violence against our body, mind, spirit. So what are we talking about? We're talking about stress and toxins in all of their forms. We're talking about things like electromagnetic frequencies that we get from the cell phones that we use. We're talking about the televisions, the fluorescent lighting, the computer screens. I mean, we're sitting in front of a computer screen right now in some sort of fashion. Either you're on your phone or your tablet or your computer, and these things emit rays and frequencies that are really kind of damaging to the body. I mean, you know, we're under attack all the time. Cell phone towers emit these rays. I'm talking about adulterated substances like GMOs, excessively fluoridated water, HFCS, mercury in the fillings of our teeth, MSG, growth hormones and food dyes in our food. Every time you go to a fast food place, if you're still a meat eater, if you do fast food or if you do processed food, you are you know, kind of bombarding your body on a regular basis with all kinds of stress and toxins. And even our fruits and vegetables. I mean, you know, we think even if sometimes we're getting food right from a farm, we don't know whether they used chemicals to you know, to kill the bugs, you know, to produce this food. All of this stuff assaults the body. Now, our bodies generate on a daily basis free radicals. What are free radicals? Free radicals are bits and pieces of our cells that, you know, the molecules in our cells that kind of get broken off, and they just kind of roam around our body causing damage. But our body produces this on a regular basis. And if our bodies are healthy, if we are in a healthy state of biology, our body emits, releases these free radicals by itself. Our body can, we were designed like that. The body produces free radicals, and it releases these free radicals on a regular basis. However, because of all of the stress and the toxins that we are bombarded with on a moment by moment basis, it weakens our body's capacity to rid ourselves of these free radicals. So that's why we need supports in helping us to maintain health and vitality in our body. And so one of the things that that stress produces is cortisol. We all know, we've all heard, I'm sure, of the fight or flight or freeze syndrome in some cases, right? But in fight or flight, cortisol gets produced in order to, it gets delivered to the parts of our body that help us prepare either to run or to fight. Now, the body doesn't know all the time that a stress source is not real. In other words, our body responds like it's a saber-toothed tiger, but in fact, really, it's some idiot on the highway who has cut us off. But our body produces the same level of chemical as if we're facing a saber-toothed tiger. So with all that cortisol buildup, that's another source of stress and toxicity in our bodies. And which reminds me also, another source of destabilization is high levels of acidity in our body. And one of the things that cortisol produces is acids. That's kind of a byproduct of that, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. I should have gotten some water. And and what happens is this overproduction results in inflammation and other weakening conditions. Inflammation, as we know, is the source of much dysfunction in our body. Arthritis is a source of it. Is caused by inflammation. Asthma is caused by inflammation. There are lots of other things that occur in the body as a result of inflammation, and the toxicity levels that get generated from high levels of acid also contribute to things like heart disease and all the addictive capacities that we sometimes find ourselves surrendering to. So these conditions are the kinds of things that we need help. Our bodies need help in fighting this off. Because these are just things in our environment that we don't have any real control over. We do have control over what we eat, but we don't have control over the air we breathe. The fact that our environments are full of these other stressors. So and I wanted to talk a little bit about sugar and the fact that sugar is a major debilitating impact on our bodies, and almost everything we eat has sugar in it. I mean, if we're not eating fresh fruit and vegetables all the time, we are consuming huge amounts of sugar. And sugar is, it tears down the cells in the body. It really weakens us. So, again, we talk about weakness and violence perpetrated against the body. Niama, did you want to say anything more about that?
About the weaknesses? Well, you covered it really in depth. We may mention that the acid and alkaline levels of the body. are extremely important for people to take note of. Most of us are acidic. We have too much acid in our bodies, and it's not related. This is different from the acid in your stomach that is needed to break down your food. We're not talking about that. We're talking about an acidic condition that does not allow your cells to operate at optimum. They're used to being in a slightly acid, not exactly in the middle of the spectrum of 7 points, but a slightly acid environment. But when we eat sugar and when we do the toxins and have the behaviors and the habits that break our body down, and we don't drink enough water, the body just builds up this acid, and we are not able to do our natural internal healing. Our body is really able to handle a lot of stuff. It's able to handle a lot of stuff. Our cells, however, need electrolytes. They need the oxygen in them to move in a fast, effective manner. And it has been found, the research shows that our bloodstream is much stickier, and it's prone to clotting the more acid we are. So the acid, the inflammation, the free radicals, all of this stuff converges to assault our body with a kind of violence that for some turns into an autoimmune condition, where the body says, like, I'm all y'all out of here. The body says, all y'all get out. I don't care if you're supposed to be in here. I want you out, because there's just too much stress on the system.
Yeah.
Good news is the essential oils have been found to actually deliver oxygen to the cells. But before we go into that, we want to talk briefly about the main point of entry for our cells, and that is for the essential oils, and that is the scent. That is the aroma. And you cannot deny you have strong memories about associating one kind of smell or another with either an incident, a person, a grandmother who cooked certain things, like, sweet potato pie, whatever it might be. All of us have memories, and we associate food with smell, with positive memories, and negative ones too. But the olfactory system in our nose, this is where we first get everything, okay? And then it goes on from there into a realm. Shakira, I lost you almost. Okay, good. You turned up the article. There is an article that just came out in the New York Times, and I want Shakira to take over, and she's going to read an excerpt or two. But the bottom line is that sense of smell is extremely important to us. Tell us why, Shakira.
Yes, absolutely. I thought you were going to do that, but that is perfectly fine. I'm good with this. I just need my glasses here. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah. So this is an article. Actually, Niamo, you found this wonderful article in a recent issue of the New York Times online. Literally, this just came out this past October. This article was put in the science section in this past October, where it's been discovered, as Niamo talked about, the olfactory nerves, and normally we think of the olfactory nerves as beginning from our nose, which is one of the reasons why we focus on inhaling the oils carefully in a particular way, which Niamo is going to demonstrate in a bit. But we talk about inhaling the oils because they go directly into the limbic section of our brain. That limbic portion of the brain is exactly where the fight or flight response occurs. It's in the what do they call it? The primitive, the primary, the first section of the brain. When you're in utero, that is the first section of the brain that gets created after that first chakra, what we call, that gut, that gut section of our body. we say the first brain actually is in the gut. It's in the section of our body that kind of sits behind our first chakra, and we're going to do a webinar on the chakras at another point to share how this works. But the brain is connected from that first chakra to the very base of the brain, and the olfactory nerves go right there, so that whatever impact that particular essence, that quality, that chemical structure has gets impacted on the limbic section of our brain. So anyway, this article talks about the science that discovered that the same cells that comprise our olfactory systems are found in our skin. Now, we know that the skin is the absolute largest organ on the body. There is no other organ larger than our kind of skin container, if you will. From our skull down to the bottom of our feet. We're going to talk about our feet too in a minute. But that skin organ is the biggest one we have. And it turns out that the skin organ actually has a substantial number of olfactory cells, olfactory qualities. And specifically, I want to quote this text here in this article, 2009. Let's see, there it is. You can read along with me, but I do want to just bring this up here. So it says, in 2009, for instance, Dr. Hatt and his team reported that exposing olfactory receptors in the human prostate to beta-ionone, a primary odor compound in violets and roses, appeared to inhibit the spread of prostate cancer cells by switching off errant genes. The same year, Grace Pavlath, a biologist at Emory University, published a study on olfactory receptors in skeletal muscles. She found that bathing the receptors in Leerol, a synthetic fragrance redolent of lily of the valley, promoted the regeneration of muscle tissue. Now, mind you, I just want to bring up a note here. This was a synthetic fragrance of lily of the valley. Synthetic meaning man-made, not natural. Okay? Blocking these receptors, in other words, by neutralizing the genes that code for them, on the other hand, was found to inhibit muscular regeneration, suggesting that odor receptors are a necessary component of the intricate biological signaling system that causes stem cells to morph into muscles and replace damaged tissue. So basically, I think what this article is saying, and you correct me if you get a different sense of this, Niamo, is that our sense of smell has a capacity to take in different odors emitted by different plant materials and use those odors to regenerate the body, using the stem cells in the body to recreate healthy tissue, healthy cell material, or regenerated cell material. Let me put it that way. And this is a natural process. This is not, woo-woo, magic stuff here. This is, scientific experiment where they've, tested and examined and acknowledged discovery based on research. So, when we talk about the quality of, the practice of inhaling oils. People think, oh, this is, kind of woo-woo stuff. No, this is science. Our olfactory nerves, our ability to smell, is there for a purpose for our body. It's not just one for pleasure, because certain smells are really very pleasant, but it is there also for a purpose in maintaining regenerative capacity in the body. So I thought we thought that was really very important to share with you, to understand how the sense of smell supports your ability to maintain wellness in your body.
And I'd like to add that what this is going back to for us as human beings is more our original makeup was much more intuitive, aware of our surroundings, aware of the cues and the language of the birds and what have you. You may go into the spiritual direction with it, but just the fact it says here that that humans have about 350 different kinds of olfactory receptors, and this is the low end for vertebrates. Mice have more than 1,000. So it shows you that other animals in the kingdom have been using their sense of smell to operate and navigate all along. We, on the other hand, as human beings, have lost the ability to actually depend on these sensors and these receptors and the capability of actually distilling knowledge and guidance and direction and information and nutrition from our surroundings and from the smells that we have. Or we get, or the smells that we inhale. So it's very important that we get that the limbic section of the brain has to do with the hormones and the messaging of systems in our bodies, and that's just the start of it. Because a lot of us who are oilers, we'll put some oil in our hand right here, and then we'll breathe it in, and then we're rubbing it in our hands, and we're putting it on our bodies. We're putting it on our muscles. Wherever it hurts, we're putting these things. Okay, and we're in that process actually supporting what has already been inhaled into the system and the bloodstream and the messaging system and the hormonal system by the olfactory nose entryway. Okay, so we're enhancing it. So it's a much more balanced and comprehensive understanding of the power of these oils than we had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Niamo, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that we have lost we have reduced our reliance on our sense of smell in our society. It's I think we are, so many of us are either visual or auditory learners. We take in information through our sense of sight or our sense of hearing, or in some cases our sense of touch, where we don't, and those of our senses are very, they're highly developed. We pay attention to what we see, we pay attention to what we hear, we pay attention to what we can touch and feel, but we pay less attention to what we smell. It's possible that it's because it's one of those senses that we don't think about it too much. I mean, the only time we really think about our sense of smell is when we lose it, because our sense of smell is very much caught up with our sense of taste. We can't really, if you lose your sense of smell, you'd be surprised. It's very difficult to taste food anymore. But I just think that it was interesting that you pointed that out, and that and because we've lost our sense of smell, we've lost our reliance on our sense of smell, that we don't value the quality of what's the word I want? Comfort, I guess, the quality of comfort that we get from the odors that we take in. I noticed that some people, when they smell these oils, the potency of the oils, sometimes they're put off and they feel like, oh, I don't like that odor, I don't like that smell. And really, that's a trigger that your body is probably craving exactly that thing. And it's like your body is kind of giving you some, it's like pinching you. Your body is like pinching you to say, wait, I want some of that. I know, and what you're experiencing is the pinch and not getting the message that that's what the body is in need of in that moment. That's not a fact. That's just a good, that's a strong possibility, because when, we find that, I mean, that's just something that people have discovered over time. I don't have any, I don't have the
science on that.
The science, right? Thank you very much. I don't have the science on that, but that is what is the conversation about it because of the science on that.
May I add another piece to this, and that is, yes, we have to take this to the level of understanding that anything that's in our lives is there for a purpose. And I wanted to say that we've been reading the Science of the Times because my mom gets the New York Times every single day, and it's the Science of the Times only comes on Tuesday, and I've been watching how my father passed away recently, but he got Smithsonian, and there are articles in these media that support what it is we're finding out with the essential oils. And so I advise strongly that you keep your eyes out for the kind of scientific, maybe it's Nature magazine, maybe it's the Smithsonian that more talks about cultures and things like that, maybe it's the Science of the Times every Tuesday. Whatever it is, keep your eye out, because more and more research is being done on essential oils and on factors around or that have to do with the benefits of this area of our sustenance. I say that we take in water, we take in food and drink, and essential oils is now something else that we take in. We're used to saying we take in medications, but yes, medications are substitutes, and they're a very pointed approach and solution to very specific problems. And essential oils are also something else that we begin to understand that it has to be a part of our life. That's really the bottom line I'm getting to. It seems like visually we've lost Shakira. I don't know where she is, but I hope that you all can still see me. And that article, I was just astounded when I saw it in the Times 2-3 weeks ago in October. And what I noticed about the article is that not one time did they mention the word extract of the plant or essential oils. They didn't mention it one time. And I just thought that was really, really interesting. Whereas the mention of a synthetic substance was provided to show that there was a change in the use of a synthetic substance, Ridulant of Lily of the Valley, as an example of something that's showing that even if it's
adulterated,
even if it's not an original from the plant source, then it could still have value. That's the reason for that sentence there. That's how I read it. But when I look up Ridulant, it says strongly reminiscent or suggestive of something. So that particular Lylol or whatever it was that they used was strongly reminiscent of. In other words, it had the chemical properties
of Lily of the Valley, right? Lily of
the Valley. But what you have to know, and this is a little bit about the chemistry about it, essential oils, even lavender, has constituents that have not been identified. In other words, they have a long list of constituents, this particular oil does, and there's something else going on that no one's given a name to. So we're saying that even when science is able to copy what they know of the constituents in an oil, and again, lavender was the first oil that the history began with, and I didn't give you that, but I will in a second. But even when they know, okay, what the constituents are, they are willing to say, there's still some stuff in here, we don't know what it is. We have not identified it. And so whatever happened with that particular scent that was redolent of lily of the valley, it seemed to have a positive value because they copied the constituent makeup, the chemical attachments and what have you between the hydrogen and carbon cells and whatever, and we're able to mimic something, you see? But it's not the same as having the original lily of the valley or the original lavender and its constituents that you don't know what impact they would have on the body, okay, or on those cells or on that system. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to bring that up. Are you able to get back on, Shakira? I don't see you.
Oh, well, I see me. My camera is on. I don't know if others can see me. I don't. What are you seeing? Are you just seeing my picture?
I see your picture, but not anything else. But that's okay as long as you can.
Okay.
As long as we can hear you, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but why you can't see me. But in any case, my camera is working, so, or at least it looks to me like it's working, and I see myself. But in any case, I do want to just, ditto, what you were saying in terms of the characteristics of the plant material resonating with various parts of the body. And the fact that the chemical makeup of the plant materials are like there are thousands of constituents, and by constituents we mean chemical elements that make up one plant, one piece of one plant. And these, and it's like I said, hundreds to thousands of these elements, these constituents. And we don't know which combination or single element is what resonates with that particular portion of our body, right? As the article pointed out, the odor from something that was a copy of lily of the valley resonated with muscular cell with the cells in the muscles in terms of having a regenerative capacity, right? So and that's just with the muscle cell. We don't know what other kinds of cells in our bodies are impacted by the different kinds of constituents in oils. Now, organizations like ARACE and other scientific groups are looking at the different constituents in oils, in plants. I wanted to just say in plants, to understand which parts of the body resonate most most assertively or most compellingly with which plant material, but the idea here is that we're all individuals. So, for example, so one oil that has an analgesic property is tsuga, from the tsuga oil. It's a tsuga plant, TSUGA. So that plant may resonate with my body in a way that peppermint doesn't. So I may have a pain in my finger. Niamo has a pain in her finger. I put on peppermint, get a little relief. Put on tsuga, get a lot of relief. For Niamo, it may be just the opposite. Maybe she gets a little relief from tsuga, but a lot of relief from peppermint. So I say that to help you understand that our bodies are unique, just like these plants. But the plants have so many different constituents in them that if you just try one over another, you'll find something that will work with you and give you some relief from whatever it is from whatever issue you're needing to address. I'm not saying that this is a healing thing. I'm saying that this is a kind of a matchmaker process where you are looking for a constituent in a plant that is going to match the needs of your body in such a way that you get some relief for whatever it is for whatever condition you're presenting. Did I say that in a way that was effective for you, Niamo? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I just want to be sure that I was clear about what I was saying, because I think at this point we can start really talking about how different oils can really kind of support our bodies in addressing in addressing their condition. But I want to say first that this all starts in the mind. It really all starts in the mind. And so when you talk about mind, nobody can really tell you where your mind is, right? They can point to your brain, but they can't really point to your mind. And those of us who are concerned about this thing, we say that the mind is definitely a kind of a tool of the spirit, because if you really get your mind and your spirit focused on something, then your brain, the physical mechanism of your brain can begin to work on it in such a way that your body responds, because your brain is kind of like the computer for your body, right? The brain is what directs your blood to flow, your muscles to work, your eyes to blink, your taste buds to respond. All of those things, all of those actions are controlled by your brain. And it is the mind and the spirit that really direct what happens in the brain, right? And so so I want to make the connection between what happens in your mind and in your spirit with how your environment responds to you. We all, I know you've heard that, your thinking creates your reality. How does that happen? Well, if there is only one mind, one universal mind, and yours is a part of it, then you absolutely have some say-so in what happens to the physical the physical reality that you experience, right? You have some say-so about that. And that say-so becomes important when you are attempting to have your body to function effectively and in a healthy manner. So we're saying that good health really begins in the mind. But I want you to join me in a little experiment to help you kind of get this meaning very clearly, so that as we go forward, you'll have as a frame of reference this perspective that we want you to hold while we're talking about this information. So if you'll join me in this experiment, I want you to look around your environment. Look all around where you are. Whatever room you're in, if you're in your car, if you're at a meeting, I don't know where you are. in your home, look around your environment and identify every item that has blue in it. Identify every item in your space that has blue in it. Just take a moment, note all of the things in your environment that have blue. All right? Have you taken in everything? Look all around you, in your front, to your sides, to the back of you. Everything that has blue. Now, I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to take my glasses off so I can join you in the experiment. I want you to close your eyes. Now, think about your environment and call out the number of things in your environment that are green.
Not blue, green.
Correct. Okay? Now, chances are, if you did the experiment in earnest, you were not able to do so. You might have come up with one or maybe two things, but probably not everything. All right? And that's because you weren't focused on it. I asked you to focus on blue. That's what you focused on. And the same is true for what's going on in your body and how you can use your mind to help you optimize your condition, your state of wellness in your mind. You want to be able to, as you approach any modality that you use, whether it's essential oils, chiropractor, allopathic medicine, I don't care what and by allopathic I mean, medical, pharmaceutically driven healthcare practices. Whatever practice you are pursuing, whatever modality you're pursuing, you want to have a state of mind that supports what you want, not what you don't want. Okay? Because your body, the one caution that you have to use in exercising the power of your mind is that your mind does your subconscious mind does not hear negative. It doesn't hear the word no, don't, can't. It doesn't get that. All it knows is you've stated a condition, and that's what it believes you want. So if you're saying, I don't want cancer, I don't want cancer, I don't want cancer, it doesn't hear I don't want it. All it hears is cancer. Okay? That's the point that I want to make here. That you want to focus on what you want and ignore don't give validation to what you don't want. Okay? Only validate what you want. And so, and that's important when it comes to dealing with using essential oils or anything or any modality.
That's excellent, Shakira. Excellent.
Yeah. So, So where we go from here is we want to talk about the different kits. Yeah. Now, Nyamo, if you can kind of go into the conversation about the different substances.
Okay. What I want to do really is, before talking about the oils per se, I want to just build on the mind piece and let you know that we did get a request for how to lose weight. We also wanted to touch on the violence through the body, mind, spirit in terms of addiction that we didn't touch, and I wanted to give you some history. So we'll make sure that we do cover these pieces. But further to the mind is that the mind is also said to be the heart, really. And um, there are conditions of the mind that really support or don't support the emotional state and therefore the body's physical state. And this is where we're finding the essential oils to be very, very, very helpful. And it's one reason why there's a recommendation for grouping certain oils together to address certain bodily occurrences or manifestations. So I just wanted to shout out this list so you can take some things down. But you should have a pencil and a piece of paper because we're getting ready to get more in-depth in terms of what it is we're finding about the oils and things you can look up further and things you'll need to know for your own self as to what it is you can be assisted with. So emotional challenges is what I want to just discuss really briefly. And in our essential oil desk reference, I'm going to hold it up. It's a book. Okay, essential oil desk reference, and that is where we get a lot of the information that's documented with the research. And this is the 6th edition. There are various editions. There's also a smaller version, and this is where we get a lot of the knowledge from. People who are going to, and we do believe that every family ought to use essential oils so that their mother is Dr. Mom. And their cleansing products and cleaning products are the products that will be non-toxic in the home, have to have a resource for the information. So everything that we've been talking about is touched on in the Essential Oils Desk Reference. There's another book called the Higley Resource that's also that uses particular oils that we use. And I just wanted us to be clear that we're not speaking really off our heads. We're really coming from well-documented information. Now, the oils for specific challenges are everything from the specific challenges that I want to just mention: abuse, agitation, anger, anxiety, apathy, argumentation, boredom, concentration, confusion, daydreaming. See, they're not all necessarily bad per se. Despair, despondency, disappointment, discouragement, fear, forgetfulness, frustration, grief/sorrow, guilt, irritability, jealousy, mood swings, obsessiveness, panic, resentment, restlessness, shock, and stress. Now, what is so fascinating about these emotional challenges, some of which, like concentration, is not necessarily a challenge, but sometimes it's the inability to concentrate, right? Daydreaming is not necessarily bad. It's what my teachers used to always say about me when I was in 2nd and 3rd and 4th grade. So that's why I'm a dreamer.
Yep.
But
Me too.
what we wanna share is that there are several oils and oil blends, and you can make your own oil blends that can assist you with addressing your mood and your mental state, okay? And just off the top, as I mentioned before, frankincense is very, very important for linkages and connectivity with our spirituality, okay? And you know that already. So if you can, either text me or respond in our group chat. It would be wonderful so that we get some feedback. Because I know one of you, I think Zakia mentioned the weight loss, and I texted her back something about the weight loss. But my response had to do with environmental conditions. So weight loss is not just what's going on with your adipose cells. It's also some other things happening, you know, the lifestyle, how fast you're running every day, the kind of sleep you get, what's going on.
How many times a day you eat or don't eat. We often starve ourselves.
How much you're drinking. We also dehydrate ourselves. We don't drink enough. Some of us don't like baths at all, and we think 5 hours is enough sleep. So there's a lot of issues, and I just wanted to start there, okay? That pay attention, continuing what Shakira said, pay attention to the mind. Pay attention to the mind. And as an energy worker, I didn't really get to share that aspect of who I am in the world. I am a Reiki master teacher, and my belief is that we are all energy, and it is science. You know, for me, science and spirit are one. It's just that some of us are dedicated to finding out the little pieces and corroborating what some others of us are feeling and doing with the vibrational energy and the spiritual energy and the blessings of awareness of metaphysics and the unseen that we enjoy and respect. And so for me, all of this comes together in the oil. All of this comes together in this particular realm of essential oils. I wanted to go back very briefly to how the oils came down to us in the modern day. There was a shift where they were studying essential oils in France, and a gentleman named Gattefossé, Jean Gattefossé, was a chemist, and he got chemical burns all over his hands, and his hands were practically inflamed, and or they had third-degree burns. What is it? Dr. Gattefossé was literally aflame, covered in burning substances following a laboratory explosion in July 1910. After he distinguished the flames by rolling on a grassy lawn, he wrote that both my hands were covered with rapidly developing gas gangrene. He further reported that just one rinse with lavender essence stopped the gasification of the tissue. This treatment was followed by profuse sweating, and healing began the next day. And it began from there that there could have been a serious infection, but this person, René Gattefossé, is responsible for naming the study of the essences aromatherapy. And why this is important is because in World War II, when they ran out of antibiotics, the doctors that he had trained and who were associated with him went into the field and actually saved lives using many different essential oils, including lavender. Okay? Now, this brings us up to now where, well, I'm skipping a part, and that middle part has to do with the medical industry and pharmaceutical industry learning about the constituencies of a lot of plant substances and creating medications and prescription drugs from them. So most of us have grown up with taking aspirin and other things, as I mentioned earlier, and we're used to buying medications and other substances and creams that are made by pharmacists over the counter. So the history is it began with essential oils, and now we're aware that we are used to using lavender oil for just to calm down and for burns, because that was the first way that it was used by Gattefossé. And this is the lavender oil that I use. It's Young Living Essential Oils, and it's just very important to have an essential oil that you can use without reservation. This is the key. No reservation at all. Okay, and that's what, when we talk about mind over matter, we're really saying that, are you very, very sure where you got your essential oils from? And I usually do a muscle test where you're shown that the power of the oils is beyond the bottle. That it really does matter what the mind is putting out there. Okay, and that's a test that is that allows you to understand the concepts of frequency and vibration a little bit more clearly. Okay, that has to do with the fact that rose oil, let's say, has a megahertz frequency of 320. It's the highest of any oils found. The human being's body frequency is from 62 to 74. Okay, and when we use the essential oils, our frequency can be higher. Now, what does this mean? It means that we feel healthier. Okay, cancer and heart disease and other colds lower our frequency and actually have a frequency number attached to them. Death is imminent around the frequency of 25 megahertz. Okay, so I can't show you the muscle test that I normally do, but I'm going to tell you the bottom line of it. There are harmonic frequencies and there are chaotic frequencies in the world. Okay, this is the environmental toxin discussion. And the cell towers, the phones, the computers, what have you, as we mentioned before, give off electromagnetic frequencies that are very toxic on our bodies and deplete us and are stressors to us, right? But when we do our muscle tests and we have a person hold the essential oil, their strength increases. They now have strength again because they're holding essential oil. They haven't used it. They haven't opened it up. They're just holding it. Okay? And this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Now what I'd like to do is I have some oils behind me here, and I'm going to get out my everyday oil kit. Okay. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the different essential oils that we do have available to us, and it's just exciting. It's just really, this is where I'm happy to be in the world today, as an energy worker, as a retiree, as a person taking care of my mother. I'm very excited that I've been turned on to Young Living essential oils. Okay. This is a group of 10 oils in this particular package that include the lavender, okay, and has also lemon, frankincense, peppermint, and then blends such as joy, panaway, peace and calming, purification, thieves, and valor. So I'm really, really excited about being able to share about this. And I noticed that we have another team member who's joined us, and her name is Olga. And I'm not sure if she's on the Google, if she's joined inside of the Hangout with us and can speak. So if she can, that would be great. But right now, let's see when she's prepared and when she's able to join us. That'll happen. But what Shakira has put up is the Everyday Oils Kit. Okay. Now this particular company, Young Living Essential Oils, was established 20 years ago, and what they're dedicated to, and I have to say what we're dedicated to, because I am aligned with the company's mission. Okay. Is the seed to seal process. Young Living is a company that is very aware of the quality of the seed that goes into the ground that is going to create the plant that is going to produce either through root, branch, or leaf or flower the plant material that will be distilled, that will be appropriately distilled at the right, well, it has to be cultivated first, but it will be picked at the right time. It'll be distilled with the right amount of water. It'll be, you know, properly sealed, properly packaged and delivered with the constituencies that have already been shown to have healing value. That is the number one piece, okay? Because there are like 9, here it is right here. There are like 9 farms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 farms around the world, and there are many distilleries around the world that Young Living Essential Oils does grow its plants and also distill its plants from. And what's so perfect about it is that for those, there's 150 approximately plants, oils and oil blends altogether that Young Living has. There are 400 products plus that the company has in total. But this is really not about the company. This is about the process. I want you to hear the process. This company when they are not the producers and the growers and the distillers of the oils, and they order it from another company. There are a lot of distilleries out there, a lot of companies that distill oils. Again, remember, for the perfumery industry. There's lots of perfume companies and lots of perfumes that we've worn over the years, right? And they needed distillers too. And so when Young Living has to go to these other distillers and get oils and order oils that they don't grow, 75% of them are rejected. Why? Because they don't have the right level of constituents in them. They do not contain the right level of constituents. Since we began with lavender, I'm going to share with you what I'm talking about when I say that, okay? Maybe Olga is preparing, and Shakira just cut me off when that happens. Lavender has 21 to 47% linalool acetate. 21 to 47%. This is the key constituent. Another key constituent is linalool, 23 to 46%. So right there, if they're both at 47 and the next one's at 46, you're talking about almost half the substance of the oil. These constituents are like half, right? So if something is ordered, let's say lavender had to be ordered from another company because the lavender farms no longer could work that Young Living owns. Well, if they have 20% linalool acetate and 48%, 20 or 48%, in other words, if it's under or over the actual recommended healing constituent level, that plant will be rejected. That oil will be rejected from that company, okay? So this is extremely important because it sets up something that has to do with the economies of scale and economics. So even though it's a digit off or 21% of linalool and 48% of linalool instead of between 23 and 46, there are companies out there that will buy that oil or buy that plant matter and distill it, even though it's not in the right, these are distilled oils I'm talking about already. So they will purchase that. There are companies that will purchase those oils even though they're not in the healing realm of the constituent, okay? And they'll do that and then sell it to you and charge a high price, or charge a price that you think is better when you go to the health food store. You have to be careful because the intention, we like to use the word the niyat, the intention is not there for healing people. And with Young Living essential oils, the attention is indeed there. Okay, so I wanted to make that crystal clear that and that's a tip of the iceberg in terms of quality of the oil and what has to be present. Okay, so with these particular oils, I'm just, there's just no way that I'm going to let them go. I'm not going to stop using them. I just won't. And I'm dedicated to sharing with other people that, they should have these oils in their homes. I have a lot of literature that shows how to be a Dr. Mom in your home using the essential oils, And I wanted to show you that I have some juice right here, and I'm just going to briefly put some oils in it, and that's what I do. Every morning, I put my lemon oil in some warm water. Right now, it seems like I have my lemon oil downstairs, and I'm just going to use what I do have, okay, that I think will be good for me today. And I just want you to see just how easy it is to use oils to enhance your life, because it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. It's okay. It is a learning curve. I'll grant you that. It's a learning curve. It's another level. It's different from what you did yesterday. Okay? Here's German chamomile. We all know that chamomile is a nice, mellowing oil. German, compared to Roman chamomile, German chamomile is great for the children and their cuts and even adults in terms of abrasions or skin conditions, as well as being very common. So I'm just going to put some in my drink because this is one of the oils that is generally regarded as safe. GRAS. That's a determination by the FDA as to the quality of an oil. Okay, and I'm also going to put copaiba, which is a wonderful oil for addressing weight issues, actually, and I believe sugar issues. This is a good oil. Okay, and I'm going to mix it up, and I'm gonna drink it, and I'll be able to taste these oils. Copaiba is from Ecuador, and German chamomile and chamomile tea we're kind of familiar with, but I just thought I wanted to share and show you how to use the oil so that you're not afraid. So what it says about copaiba is that it is related to copal, and copal is a well-known herb and substance that's used spiritually among people from South America. You could go to the not the bodega, to the botanica and get copal. But its medical properties are anti-inflammatory. It's very powerful anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective, according to the My Essential Oils Desk reference, antimicrobial, anti-ulcer, anti-cancer, antiseptic. A lot of the oils are antiseptic. They help clean the receptors that we were talking about before, the cell receptors. Kidney stone preventative. So thank you. I'm going to be drinking my apple juice with copaiba and chamomile. Tastes very nice too. So I don't suggest you do this at home if you don't know the quality of the oils that you use. Not all oils are ingestible, and very specific oils should never be digested unless you really understand what you're doing and you get that clinical aromatherapy training. And but it's about us taking responsibility. There are mushrooms out there that are good for you and you can eat. There's mushrooms that are poisonous. So sometimes, we're swayed by media frenzy without really considering that much of what we do is by our own volition, and that's what we mean by mind over matter. So that's my first aspect of demonstrating the oils. And Shakira, I'll give it back to you. Perhaps Olga is available.
I just actually sent her a link that hopefully she can click on and just join us on the screen. I don't know if it'll work or not, but Olga, if you're hearing me, look in your text messages. I just sent you a link in your on your cell phone. Anyway, to just kind of pick up where Niamo left off, I don't have examples of all of these oils here with me to show you how to use them. However, I do have a document that if you're interested, we can send this to you by email. It'll be our pleasure. We'll figure out another way to have you just download this at some point. But in any event, right now, the oils that we have in some of our basic kits are oils that can, if you've run out of these items on the left-hand side of this column, you can certainly look at the items on the right-hand side of your column. If you maintain a stash of oils as we do. So, for example, there's an oil called Raven. There's which is this is not a blend, am I right, Niamo? Raven is a single oil.
Actually, it's a blend.
It is a blend. Okay. So in this case, lavender is the single oil, and we have two blends. One called Raven, one called RC. You have your desk reference there. You can maybe help me look up what the ingredients are in these in these two oils. And then we have a supplement called sulfurzyme. which it's dry. It's taken in capsule form. But these plant-based oils and elements are help us fight off allergens. And let me say a word about allergens. Allergen cells are very, very large cells. Sometimes people experience the oils and they think because their nose itches or maybe they sneeze or something, they think they're having an allergic reaction. It's not an allergic reaction as much as it is a response, your body's response to whatever that oil is. Allergens are very, very large molecules, and so the allergy medicines that we take they're when they go into the body, they take up a lot of space, and probably do some maybe cause some discomfort to the body in some way when they're coming in. They do address the issue. I want to say about pharmaceuticals, it's kind of like instead of having a human being come into your home, a housekeeper, a house cleaner of some sort, come into your home and clean your home, and you can talk to that person, and that person responds, and you can have a conversation with that person. It's tantamount to, instead of having a human being come into your home, it's when you bring in a pharmaceutical, it's like bringing in a mechanical robot. The robot comes in to do one thing, and they know how to do that one thing, and they do it very well. But they can't always take care of your crystal china. They can't always manage your infant child. If your child is crawling around on the rug, they can't pick your child up and move it gingerly to a safe spot. They may just actually run over the child, doing damage in the end. So, I kind of that's kind of how I liken pharmaceuticals. They are designed and constructed and built to do one thing, and so they go in and they do that one thing, notwithstanding whatever other things they may shove around in the process. And I don't have to recite to you, the commercials that come on that tell you about these new pharmaceuticals and all the contraindications that come along with them. Right. So in any case, I just want to say that about the medications. Now, the ones that are on the left side of this form, I mean, they're tried and true stuff. It's not, you're probably not going to be hurt by any aspirin or Tylenol that you take. But you also won't be hurt by any lavender or peppermint that you take, or M-grain, which is another oil, essential oil that was formulated to address migraines. Mm-hmm. Not like migraines will be ended by M-grain oil, but certainly, Tylenol doesn't end them either. You know what I mean? So, but it's a natural substance that doesn't have the contraindications that these other elements do. If you have a fever, if you're feeling a cold or a cough coming on, lemon, peppermint, RC, those are the oils that I use and rely on in order to manage my my respiratory system that has been challenged my entire life. I'm 60 years old. I use these oils when I get a scratch, when I get a cough, or whatever. Pepto-Bismol, if you get, when you have an upset stomach or you've got cramps, as I was sharing with you, I, don't like giving those substances to children, especially because you don't know what else they're going to do. That Digize oil, I swear by it, works like a charm.
So Shakira, can I just show them how I use Digize?
Absolutely.
Here it is, right here, and there it is. I don't know how it might be backwards, but anyhow.
No, I see it. It works out well.
It was facing that way? Okay, good. So we just take the bottle, take the Digize bottle, lift my head up, one drop. Oh, it tastes wonderful. Actually, it tastes but I'll take another drop.
A lot of licorice. I think there's licorice in Digize. Am I right?
Well, I'm looking at all this stuff right now. I can tell you in a moment. In Digest, we have tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, lemongrass, anise.
Anise, that's what it is. Yeah, that anise is
Let me
powerful,
share what
potent.
I just did. I dropped some in my mouth. It's for digestion, as the name implies.
Uh-huh.
Dropped some on my hand. I'm rubbing it together 3 times, and now I'm going to put it on my lower stomach. I'm going to put it on my intestinal area. I'm rubbing below my navel with it, around and round. Whenever I've had
Yep.
any stomach discomfort, this is what I do. And then it goes
Yep.
away. If I don't have the
Yep.
digest, I'll do the same exact thing with a little peppermint. Sometimes with
Yep.
peppermint, all I have to do is go like this in front of my nose. And the peppermint will also help resolve any stomach issues.
Right. Yeah, thank you for demonstrating that because when I say I use peppermint or lemon oil or RC for when I get a cough, people don't necessarily know what I mean, and I do mean that I literally put my head back, let a drop go down my throat, a drop or two go down my throat of the peppermint oil, the RC oil, lemon oil, and whatever I've got going on, it soothes it. If
I,
it's a cold if I'm experiencing a cold of some sort, I might use thieves oil as well
yes.
in that same way.
Did you
And
great.
yeah, usually just 1 or 2 drops. I don't need more than that. It's very potent.
I wanted to find out if you wanted me to tell what was in Raven and RC.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before. Okay, so I have the Golden Touch kit that has Digest in it, Endoflex, Juvaflex, Thieves, uh, Melrose, RC, and Raven. So RC is like 5 or 6 eucalyptuses. Globalus, Eucalyptus um, marjoram, Eucalyptus radiata, Eucalyptus citrodora, lavender's in there, cypress is in there, spruce, peppermint oil, and as well as myrtle. So did I? Anyway, yeah, like 3 kinds of eucalyptus. Okay, I had that wrong. Raven has Ravensara, which is from Madagascar, lemon, wintergreen, peppermint, and Eucalyptus radiata as well. So the Golden Touch happens to be a kit of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different essential oils that happen to be out of stock in this moment, I must tell you. However, we can work together and we can put together a lot of the oils that come in this kit. This is a preventive and extremely violent weather and viral and bacterial conditions that assault the body. Because the oils and the blends in here knock out a lot of stuff, help to clean the liver so we can get rid of it. The thieves we mentioned very briefly. Perhaps we need to tell the story of thieves, just really, really briefly. The thieves blend is so named because in 15th century Europe, people were dying in the streets from what they call the Black Plague or the bubonic plague. And even though that was true, there were people who could rob them and get away and didn't get the plague. And so they happened to catch these 4 thieves. And in exchange for their life, in exchange for a reduction of sentence, they had to give up why they did not get the plague. And what they shared was, we're spice merchants, they said. We are spice merchants, and we have access to and use rosemary, um, cinnamon bark, clove, peppermint, lemon, and there's a variety of permutations of this 4 thieves vinegar that actually did stop the plague in its tracks. So that's why when I first was introduced to the products, I said, why would you name something thieves? That sounds terrible. But understanding that this is what actually stopped the spread of the plague, it's like no-brainer. Okay, so thieves has been shown by university research studies to kill 99% of airborne bacteria, microbes in the air. Sorry, microbes in the air. So it is better for us than spraying Lysol, because Lysol you don't want to ingest. You do not want to do that. Okay, you don't want it on your
Right.
skin. You don't want
Right.
it in your mouth, under your tongue, like I just did. We do the same thing with these because we can take it in. Okay, and the chief products there are the thieves. I mean, are the cinnamon bark and the clove and the rosemary together. You know, and the peppermint and the lemon. And am I leaving something out with thieves in terms of ingredients? I don't think so, but I'm going to double check because sometimes um, the reason I want to make sure you have what's in it is because if you have these single uh, um, if you have these single, what do you call, oh, eucalyptus radiata is what I left out. If you have them at home, these single oils, then you can use them to prevent any assault on your system. Okay, and you know, it's clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, E. radiata, and rosemary are the ingredients, and so they are just a wonderful blend there. And we will talk a little bit more because some of you are concerned about how much to use. And here's my shea butter. And when I'm concerned about how much to use, I'll just take a dab of shea butter and let's say, you know, just a little bit in my hand. You know, that's about 4 drops. So, and then I'll take an oil that I know is good for me in some way, but maybe kind of harsh. And this is palmarosa. Palmarosa is nice for the skin, and I sometimes use it on my face. And so I'm just showing you how I just take 1 drop of that and mostly shea butter, and it's good for skin. So I put it on my skin like that, you know, and that's what you can do as well. Okay, don't be afraid of the oils. Okay, you have to make sure that they are pure oils that you're unafraid of. That's it for that segment. Now I'm putting it on my
Okay.
elbows.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't look to me like our partner,
Let me
colleague
see.
Olga Barnwell is going to be joining us. But you were talking about thieves. I know that's one of the things that she really relies on. Olga has sickle cell, and in fact, that's how she came into the company because I she lives near me, and I ended up taking her to the hospital one year. I guess this is probably about 2009. I took her to the hospital because she was having a crisis, and we were in Willingboro, and there was only one doctor on duty, and they were quite busy that evening, and so they didn't get to her for a very long time. They didn't really have a good handle on what to do with a sickle cell crisis, not knowing that they should take somebody experiencing a crisis and put them on intravenous fluids immediately, as they do in most hospitals but they did not do that in Willingboro, and so we were in the waiting room for hours, and understand that sickle cell is a condition which causes a really high level of pain in the body because of the way that the blood cells, formulate into a sickle shape. And when they go through the blood vessels throughout the body, especially the extremities of the body, it causes a great deal of pain. So, and they normally treat that pain with morphine. So if you have an idea of the level of pain that occurs with sickle cell, you'll know what I'm talking about when I talk about morphine. So at that point, I didn't have much, but I can tell you what I did have on me because I had the basic kit of oils at that point. I used on her. I asked her permission if it was okay if I put some oils on her to try to help relieve some of the pain. I know that I had with me peppermint oil, and I also had panaway oil. If you can look up panaway, that would be great, Niamo, while I talk about this.
Okay.
because these are two oils that have high levels of analgesic properties, meaning
Right.
pain relieving, numbing properties. And I want you to know that we were able to sit in that waiting room for probably about 3 hours before they brought her in to treat her and give her any kind of medication. I was just basically rubbing her legs, which is what was hurting her at the time. I rubbed her legs down with peppermint and panaway oil, and those two oils enabled her to literally relax into a state of sleep, so that when, by the time the doctors came, she did not really need to be given um, morphine, and basically even they gave her a prescription for codeine or whatever other kind of pain medication they had. And she actually, I don't think she's if I remember her telling the story correctly, she did not even get that prescription filled. She instead just went ahead and bought the oils and has been using the oils from that day to this. And in fact, one of the reasons why she's not on the webinar with us today is because there is a sickle cell gathering at the Liberty Science Center here in New Jersey, and that's where she is today. She's on a panel, and she's talking about the quality of the oils and how the oils have been a support to her in treating her the pain associated with the sickle cell. She also, because of a blood transfusion that she had to get, which that is, that has come along with the condition of having sickle cell anemia. She's had to have blood transfusions over the years, and as a result of one of those blood transfusions, she contracted hepatitis. I think it's hepatitis B, and so she has been able to support herself in managing that condition as well. I don't know which oils she uses for those, but she has been able to manage that condition in her life, and that has caused her to be very conscious about the things that she uses to keep her household, her house clean and her environment clean. And so she uses all of the Thieves products. You see down at the bottom, we have the Thieves household cleaner. That is a cleaning product that is infused with the different oils used to create the Thieves oil blend. And she uses a lot of the products to clean her, keep her environment clean. If she were on board with us today, we'll probably do another hangout to just talk about environmental factors. She has a whole host of products that she uses that really kind of addresses the toxins in our environment, and she's very conscious about it because she's sensitive to those toxins because of the Hep B, or I think it's the Hep C, and the sickle cell. So Olga has become expert in that area of maintaining wellness in our environment. So I wanted to see. I mean, I don't
I
know if
have
there's anything else that we want to share.
yes.
Say it again.
I have Panaway. It contains the Panaway product contains wintergreen, helichrysum, clove, and peppermint, and it is
Oh
designed.
boy, yeah.
Yeah, it reduces pain and inflammation, increases circulation, and accelerates healing. And it's supposed to be diluted 1-to-1.
Yes.
And certainly with all of these oils, a lot of times the recommendation is the dilution. But often we kind of dispense with it once we become more and more used to the oils, and once we become cleansed and keep cleaning out our bodies, making sure we have our lemon water in the morning.
Yeah.
Making sure we eat enough salad.
Sure.
Making sure that we have enough hydration and balance and alkalinity, not that strong, fierce acid constitution. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is a list of some of the recipes that we can share with you. Young Living Essential Oils Antibiotic Recipes. Blend number 1 is 20 drops valerian, 10 drops helichrysum, 3 drops clove, 3 drops peppermint. And these don't have the names. This is a very good list because this shows you how to get rid of stuff. And some of these, with slight differences, have been they're actually sold as products. But I was going to say that blend number 1 for a moment there looked like Panaway, but it's not. And anyway, take this down and make sure you ask us about this antibiotic recipes list, because as you could see, there's a lot of oils that repeat themselves, such as oregano, such as peppermint, such as clove, okay? And a lot of oils can be put into a gel cap and taken internally over time to arrest a lot of issues. I'm dealing with some intestinal yeast and getting rid of that. And they can be used as a suppository. They can be used for women who have issues, vaginitis and other kinds of things like that. We can use a all cotton organic tampon, soak it in some olive oil that is laced with the different oils, okay? And the same thing with colonic irrigation, or what is it called? Not the colonic, but when you use that red thing that we grew up with, and we hung it in a bathtub.
Oh yeah, the enema, the hated enema.
How could I forget about that? So a lot of these recipes can also be used in an enema bottle, of course, cut back in terms of 20 drops. No, you're not talking about that. We're talking about warm water. You know, you have to go slow with the pure essential oils. The purity is extremely important, and we try to stress that. And you know, you can correct some other issues if you need an enema. And you have your water laced with some essential oils. Okay. Okay, so this is some other list that Shakira is scrolling through. What essential oils can do for you all day long? Clean the air of pollutants, purify the water you drink and bathe in, be combined with food and nutritional supplements for increased support to support cell metabolism and improve antioxidant action within your body. Enhance your skin and hair and oral hygiene. Now, for that one, I have my rosemary right here, but I forgot to bring up my palm oil, because I was going to show you how I just take a little bit of palm oil in my hand, but I'll just show you with the rosemary itself. Drop it into my hand. I don't know if you can see. I drop like maybe 3-4 droppings, and I just put it all over my hair, and it helps with the hair growth. Okay. Stimulate, support your immune system, reduce stress, and bring emotional balance into your life. Enhance your ability to learn new things. Act against many strains of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites in your body. Now, this is extremely important, because whereas penicillin and other antibiotics have like one, you know, they have one recipe, okay, and they use it for everyone, okay, and it never changes, and thereby you have the bacteria and the viruses and the infections adapting to whatever that was that y'all gave us last time, and that didn't do nothing. We was able to fight that off or not, but now we know what to do. So these viruses and bacteria or whatever have you, they have a life, and they're like, we are back, and you can't stop us. And so one of the ways that they're back is called MRSA. And what's so beautiful about essential oils is that because the constituents change with every bottle, every harvest, you see, we're harvesting every year, every several months. In Ecuador, the stuff is so lush. Every 3, 4, 5 months, they do a new harvest of ylang-ylang and oregano and thyme. So the constituents may be different next time, slightly different, within the range, but different values, which means that what used to live in the body trying to hang out, viral, infectious, you know, bacterial, microbial, cannot hang out because they didn't know this was coming, okay? They didn't know this particular oil with this particular makeup, this particular layout of constituents was going to be, assaulting them and moving them out of the body.
Niamo, I think you need to slow down just a little bit. Niamo, if you slow down just a little bit, I am losing a lot of what you're saying.
So, okay. Reduce stress. I'm up to number 6. I was just reading through your list and giving little stories. Yeah, I found before to let you know.
Right. No, I got it. I'm just saying that when you got very animated, it was hard to the machine was having a hard time keeping up with you.
Okay. So that's it. Act against many strains of bacteria, offer support to the body, help the infants and children, helps the pets. A lot of people are using these oils for their pets and their horses and what have you. And it's recognized, absorbed, and used by our bodies because the molecules, the molecular structure is genetically similar to our blood and our body's systems. That's what essential oils can do for us all day long.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk. I don't know if we can take any questions or answers. You know what? I'm going to make an effort to try this. I'm going to make an effort to. Let me see if I can get back on here. I'm going to make an effort to open up this Q&A process. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it. So if I fall off, I'll get back on, but here goes. Let's see. Okay, feature is disabled. All right, it's not going to let me get on. I think I have to activate that feature before we start to hang out. We'll try that another time. In any case, I wanted to, let me bring back the screen about the 9 oils.
10.
Because 10 oils. Oh my God. I keep making this mistake because we just got this new kit, which they just restructured the everyday oils kit. It used to be 9. It was 9 for the longest time, and or for as long as I've been with the company. And now we have 10 oils, all for the same price, I might add.
Even better price because it has
even better price. That's right, because there is a diffuser that comes along with this kit now. So I want to. I don't know if there's anybody. Let me just. I guess there's no way to.
We need to ask them to send their texts, to send questions by text or by email or something.
Yeah,
maybe that's another way.
If anybody has any questions, any specific questions that they want to. I'm on the Google Hangout page. If anybody has any questions, is oregano of any use? Oregano oil of any use? That was a question from Finn.
Okay. Excellent question.
That was a question from Finn. So if anybody else has a question, if you're on the Google Hangout page, I can get you there.
Okay. So I want to answer Finn's question because. Great. Of course it's of use, and thank goodness it's one of the oils that is not horribly adulterated. It's very widely available. It's easy to distill, and what's great is that it's so very good for the body. I'm looking for my description here. Okay, so. The historical data includes the fact that it was mentioned by a Benedictine herbalist in the 11th century. The medical properties are that oregano is anti-aging, powerful antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, immune stimulant, radioprotective, liver protectant. And the uses of it are for arthritis, rheumatism, respiratory infectious diseases, infections, tuberculosis, and digestive problems. Now, the fragrant influence. Oh, you talk about the body, you talk about the usage. Now we're talking about when you smell it, how it makes you feel. It creates a feeling of security. That's what this reference says. Creates a feeling of security. Okay? And Finn, you should look up Oreganum vulgare. That's the name of the Latin name for oregano. And if you can find out, I don't know what brand of oil of oregano you've been using, but the healing qualities and the main constituents are going to be found if the carva crawl, C-A-R-V-A, carva, like carving something like meat, carva crawl, C-R-O-L, carva crawl, one word, is between 60 and 75%. Then there's something called gamma terpenine that is between 3.5 and 8.5%. Those are the ranges of the first two primary constituents. There's a list of here, 6 of them. Oregano, in fact, contains thymol, T-H-Y-M-O-L. There's less than 5% of that in oregano, but it's often that oregano and thyme are used together in cooking, and they have a synergy together. So let's see what else it says. Dilute 1 part essential oil with 4 parts vegetable oil. What else? Caution, it's high in phenols. Oregano may irritate the nasal membranes or skin if inhaled directly from diffuser or bottle or applied neat. In other words, applied directly to the body. So you are supposed to dilute it to 4 parts vegetable oil. And it's found in several of the blends from Young Living. But we definitely use oregano as a chief part of this particular program called the raindrop technique. The raindrop.
Yeah, Niama, let me just put a footnote in here. You were saying that you should dilute it. You don't have to. And I say that meaning that everybody does not have the same sensitivity to it. Some people, it's really very hot. I wouldn't put it on a child, the skin of a child, because children's skin is more thin. But you can actually apply it directly to your skin. And if you feel like you're getting a burning sensation, then you can dilute it with vegetable oil or some sort of oil.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
but I'm glad you're saying that, because it's in fact lavender oil is frequently spoken of as if you can use it directly on your skin with no problem, whereas I have found that lavender oil, when I use it on my grandson and sometimes on myself, I have to dilute it because there's something that's going on between my acid mantle and the lavender that's awakened. And I have found that many melanated people that I have shared lavender with, they say it stings. And but the literature says no, you don't even have to dilute it if you use it on a child. So it is true. Every body is different. And that is how you must get to know your own body. And with oils, they're always diluted by carrier oils such as vegetable oils, coconut, almond, olive.
Meaning, when you say that, you mean the practice is to dilute them. The oils that you will find in these bottles that I have up here on the screen, they're not diluted with anything.
No. I'm talking about in using oils. Let's say you put a little peppermint into your eye. You must not put water on it. You must put, even if you have butter, you have to put something that is another kind of vegetable oil, not another kind. You have to put a vegetable oil to dilute an oil from this particular company. From these pure oils is what we're talking about. We're not talking about oils, the provenance of which we do not know. I was getting ready to tell you about the oregano is found in the raindrop technique, which also comes with the V6 vegetable oil that Young Living prepares. It's a variety of oils in the vegetable oil, chiefly almond oil. I think I have it back here. I do. And it's a vegetable oil complex. And this oil has in it coconut, sesame, grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, wheat germ oil, sunflower oil, and olive oil. So, you know, you can use an oil like this or make your own that can be added to oils to just spread their use. Now, when we say dilute, we're not saying that it dilutes the effectiveness of the oil. Be very clear that, and this was actually given to us in our class on aromatherapy, clinical aromatherapy. When we dilute, we're really talking about being able to spread that value of the oil over a larger section of skin. That's what you're really doing. It's not diluting its effectiveness, so be clear about that. Very briefly, once again, the raindrop technique is a blend of oils that has its roots in the Lakota Sioux tradition of pouring, or actually getting energy from the northern lights, from the aurora borealis. So you Canadians may have an interest in that. The Lakota Sioux people used to go up to the farthest reaches of what is now Canada and hold their arms out and get the energy from aurora borealis on the back and the front. And once the border was created between the U.S. and Canada, they were no longer able to do that, and their elders, their shamans, developed a technique of using herbs on their body. And when they met Dr. Young, Gary Young is a naturopath who's the founder of Young Living Essential Oils, he developed this system of using the dropping like rain, oils such as oregano and others onto or through the aura of the back of the of individuals, which is extremely healing, especially for anything spinal related. And of course, a lot of stuff lives in our vertebra. So I just wanted to share that since Finn brought up the oregano oil.
Okay. So I wanted to just go back and have us look at the Everyday Oils kit, which is the best value and the best way of experiencing these oils. This kit has 10 of the most useful oils that you would possibly need in your life on a regular basis. It includes the Thieves Blend. It includes Melaleuca alternifolia, which you commonly know as tea tree oil. It includes frankincense, which is probably one of the most powerful oils available. We're using the Boswellia carteri for this particular kit. We have a couple of other kinds of frankincense in the company, but the Boswellia carteri is the one that we use for this kit. It's good for concentration. It's good to balance your immune system. It's good for blisters, insect bites, anything having to do with the skin. Depression, it uplifts the spirit. Brittle nails, stretch marks, cysts, anything else having to do with skin health, like warts, breast health, and just overall maintenance. Frankincense is wonderful. I developed an autoimmune condition over the years that was diagnosed as something called myasthenia, ocular myasthenia. Myasthenia is an autoimmune condition where the body fights the connective tissue between your muscles and your muscles and your nerves. And so, you know, you have some pretty important muscles in your body. Your heart is a muscle, your lungs are muscles, your eyes are also muscles. In my case, it was a condition that where I was experiencing trouble in my eyes, and there are really only two allopathic procedures that they, allopathic methodologies that they use to treat myasthenia, which is a steroid treatment, or there is a treatment where you can use, I can't remember the other kind of, what the name of the other drug, but that one didn't do well for me at all. I felt very jittery. It just didn't feel great. So, and then the other one was was some sort of a transfusion thing, which I didn't want to do. So I used a recipe of frankincense, orange oil, thyme oil, and clove oil, and I used those oils in capsules, and I basically have been able to manage, the condition. It's not cured in any way, but certainly my vision hasn't gone wayward altogether. I do have some weakness in some of in one or another eyelid, just depending on the day or how tired I am. But I've been able to manage it without using the steroids. So frankincense, another oil I swear by. This kit includes peppermint oil, which is another go-to all-purpose oil for almost anything. It has you can use it for digestive issues, heartburn. Literally, when I experience heartburn, I will either use Digest or peppermint, whatever I have on hand. I'll put a drop or two in my hand, rub it on my chest area, and I am relieved of whatever heartburn I'm experiencing. Inflammation, which I talked about earlier. Peppermint is highly is highly infused with an anti-inflammatory cell makeup constituencies, and so if you're swelling, or if you're experiencing any kind of burning sensation, you can use peppermint oil on unbroken skin. It also treats. You can also use it to treat bruises or injuries of that kind. It's good for fever. It's good for itching, poison ivy, poison oak. If you work out, your muscles get overtired or bruised, you can use peppermint oil on your muscles. It's great for nausea, for headaches, for hiccups, for alertness and concentration, for recall. When I'm going back to alertness, if I'm driving and I'm feeling the least bit drowsy, and I don't want to stop for coffee or whatever, I will just take out my peppermint oil and put some in my hand, rub my hands together, activate the constituents in the oil as Niamo demonstrated, and keep inhaling it so that until I become alert again, and I have really found value there. It's good for travel sickness, any kind of congestion. It's good as a flavoring or a preservative. Little house guests, unwanted house guests, like rodents, ants, cockroaches, things like that. These oils, they don't like peppermint oil. You put some on cotton and put it down in places where rodents, little mices and stuff like that, roaches, ants. You put peppermint oil down there in those little holes and passageways. They will stay away. They just don't like the smell. Paint fumes, you diffuse it into this air when you're painting. Same is true for purification oil. It's great for cleaning out the air. You could use it as a caffeine substitute, so as a substitute for tea or coffee. Aphids, spiders, they don't like peppermint oil. You can use them to keep use peppermint to keep those little pesky critters away. Summer cooler drink, put it in a cup of iced tea, or just even a cup of water. It's great for keeping you cool in the summer. It's great for arthritis, tendinitis, bad breath. It will help you curb your appetite. Great for ticks, removing ticks. Great for sore feet. So peppermint oil is it's invaluable. You can find a million uses for peppermint oil. There are at least 100 uses for peppermint oil. Lavender oil, Niamo has already kind of covered some of that. Calming. It's a great sleep aid. It's good for bee stings or insect bites, any kind of burns, cuts, eczema, dermatitis, motion sickness, nosebleeds, unlocking tear ducts. Now that's a new one for me. I haven't heard that. I don't know that issue, but I'm sure that some people suffer from it. Dry, chapped skin, sunburned lips, scar tissue, deodorants. You can use lavender as a natural deodorant. You don't have to use the toxic stuff that you can buy, believe it or not, in the cosmetics area of the store. Hay fever, dandruff, moths and insects, water fountains. Place a drop of water in your water fountain to scent the air, kill bacteria, prolong the time between cleanings. These are those home water fountain systems that they're talking about here. You can sweeten your laundry, kind of as a center. It doesn't. I don't know if it does the softening, but it does sweeten the aroma of your laundry. And for households where there are young men doing sports, or even young women doing sports, and you get a sense of how sweaty socks and underwear smell. Oh my goodness. You want some lavender to sweeten sweeten those odors. Cold sores, allergies, sunburns, rashes, all of these things can be managed with lavender. Lemon is another oil that comes in this kit. They give a warning that citrus oils shouldn't be applied to skin that will be exposed to sunlight. So you don't necessarily want to put on lemon oil and go do your sunbathing, but you can use it as an air freshener. You can use it as a cleanser to remove gum, oil, grease spots, and crayons from certain surfaces. Varicose veins. When you put several drops of lemon oil on varicose veins, it improves your circulation and relieves pressure. You can make lemonade with it. Calluses, bunions, warts. Rub a drop on calluses, and they'll begin to disappear. You can prolong the life of fresh fruit. Okay, clean them and wash them off in a couple of drops of lemon oil. Countertops, it'll disinfect and sanitize countertops, disinfect dishcloth. Keep some on hand when you go to public bathrooms. Melaleuca, as we were talking about, as I was mentioning before, this is the alternifolia. We have two kinds of Melaleuca in this in our collection, but this is the one that comes in this kit is the tea tree variety, which is great for any kind of fungus infections, tooth or gum disease. If you have water retention or hypertension, apply it to your chakras and to your VitaFlex points. You can use it to manage any kind of skin conditions. Melaleuca is great for that. Stress Away is a new oil added to this kit, and it is one of the most heavenly, at least for me. Everybody reacts differently to the oils, but I find Stress Away to have a heavenly aroma. I mean, literally, when you inhale it, your exhale is one of release, meaning you literally you can feel the tension in your body just leaving you with that exhaled breath. It's great for relaxation, for managing and reducing mental and emotional stress. It provides calming It helps you to reduce anger, trauma, restlessness. It helps with your appetite. It curbs your occasional cravings. Purification is another oil. This is not an oil that we recommend taking internally. Um, it's a blend of citronella, lemongrass, rosemary, melaleuca, lavender, myrtle, and it is the citronella that we dissuade you from taking internally. But it's great for using as an air purifier, a freshener. Um, Insect bites, you can put it on your skin, using it for insect bites, skin blemishes. They say take it for sore throat. I would put it on the outside of your throat, as a matter of fact, and not taking it internally necessarily. It's good for blisters, sneaker odor. You can put it in your humidifier. It's good to um, well, they say swab out the nasal cavity if you're feeling like you've got a flu. Um, you can use it as an insect repellent. It's good for your pets, your cats or your dogs. They get ear mites sometimes, and applying purification to their ear area, along with peppermint oil diluted with V6. Both of those, you dilute those oils, and you can swab out the ears of your pets with these oils, and it'll kill those ear mites. Thieves, I think Niamo covered sufficiently. We told you about Panaway oil. Um, when both of my boys, I have two boys and two sons and two daughters, and both of my sons, when they were growing up, especially the oldest one, he suffered regularly from growing pains, where the muscles, the leg muscles, and everything in the body is growing so fast. Boys often get growing pains. Panaway is great for that kind of pain. It's good for arthritis, sciatica pain. It's good for arthritis in pets. Another oil that I find to be absolutely heavenly in terms of its aroma, and it's just putting you in just a wonderful mood. It's probably good for your libido. Is joy. I say you cannot have a bad day when you are experiencing the oil of joy, and it really is quite wonderful. It's great for frustration and depression. It's a mood lifter. I use it as a perfume. Men use it as an aftershave. You can use it as a deodorant. It improves circulation. It does increase libido. I thought so. You can use it as a potpourri fragrance. If you have, sometimes you have the bags of dried florals that you can use as potpourri. If after they sit there for a while, they dry up. Well, just put a couple of drops of joy oil on those dried up botanicals and fluff them around a bit, and you've got a whole new lifespan for that potpourri. I wanted to say something else about joy that Olga brought to my attention. She said that when she uses joy, she has to be careful with it because it drops her blood pressure. So that was something that was a side effect that I didn't know about. So apparently joy will kind of calm you down to the point of really reducing the blood pressure reading. So those are the 9 oils that are available in this kit, and I want to say that you cannot get better value. You just simply cannot get better value. As we were saying, this is a reformulated kit, meaning up until this past month. In fact, they just started using this kit, I think the 15th of the month. There were 9 oils in this kit. And when I first joined the company, you had to buy a diffuser in order to enjoy the benefits of the oils that would be diffused in the air. However, excuse me, throat getting dry, I need some water. However, at this point, this kit, This kit sells for $150. That $150 includes a kind of a wholesale membership fee, and it includes a diffuser. And there is no way that you can replicate this amount of value for $150. It can't be done. So essentially the company, I believe, is just kind of offering a giveaway in this kit. Frankincense alone. Now, our company does not offer frankincense as a single bottle in a 5 milliliter size. The 10 oils in this kit are sized at 5 milliliters. Do you recall, Niamo, the number of drops in a 5 milliliter bottle versus a 15 milliliter bottle?
Actually, I've seen a lot of different numbers, 50 versus 150. Depends on the fluidity of the oil. Some oils are thicker than others.
All right. Okay, but that's good enough. So let's say that it's 50. That's probably about a good number. 50 drops of oil in a 5 milliliter bottle. That's approximately 30 to 50 uses. If you use it a drop at a time, and you don't need to use every oil every day. So, very plausibly, one of these bottles of oils could last you anywhere from 2 to 3 months, depending on how often you use it.
Or much longer.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, depending on how often you use it. I mean, purification, I didn't use all that often. My 5 milliliter bottle of purification would probably last 2 or 3 months. Whereas my frankincense, if I had a 5 milliliter bottle, because I would use it every day, I probably would use, maybe 30 to 45 days. But what you need to understand is that we offer the frankincense in a 15 milliliter bottle. Otherwise, in other words, I don't think you can buy a 5 milliliter bottle of frankincense. A 15 milliliter bottle of frankincense will run you approximately $70. $70.
It's $74. Sacred frankincense is available.
Versus you get not the Boswellia carteri, which is what's available in this kit.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going like for like here. If you wanted to buy a bottle of Boswellia carteri frankincense, as is shown from here, you would spend approximately $70 to get the frankincense. Whereas if you get this kit, you get not only the frankincense, you get all of these other wonderful, wonderful, indispensable oils that will serve you in every other area of your life. The peppermint oil alone, the lavender oil alone, the panaway oil alone, the joy alone. These oils, you want to have these oils in your life. You want to have them in your life. You have substitutes for them now, but those substitutes are probably nowhere near as compelling for your body as these particular oils. So you can't get a better you can't get better value than purchasing this kit. And as I said, the kit includes the $150 startup kit. I think it's $160 with the diffuser. You can get it without the diffuser, but that doesn't make sense. You just go ahead and spend the $160. You get a diffuser, which let me see if I can find.
I have to clarify that for you.
Got it. Okay, go ahead.
$150 does get you a diffuser. The better.
Oh, it does.
For $10 more, you get a better diffuser.
Oh, okay.
And you also get the $40 kit that's included within it, and the $40 membership kit includes samples of the oils, such as this lavender, these lavender
lavender peppermint. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, several of them. You get, I think, lavender lemon. thieves, and maybe peppermint. I think there's about 5 of them that you get as samples. Plus, you get 2 Ninja Red, which is the nutrient infusion drink.
Uh-huh.
You
Antioxidant.
get that in the membership kit, and a lot of paperwork, a lot of literature. That
Literature.
some of the literature we're showing up here. And that's the $40 membership kit that allows you to be a member of Young Living forever. And right now, since last year to through this year, people who were members years and years and years ago can come back and rejoin without having to spend a minimum of X amount of dollars. The yearly membership buy-in, so to speak, is typically $50 a year. But no one's chasing you for your membership, and it's up to you if you want to get the highest value, the best prices, and the most even income, if you're so inclined. By sharing the oils and their benefits with other people, you can actually earn referral income from the company by doing that.
Right.
And that's all explained in that $150 or $160 kit with which you get a diffuser. Remember, when we talked before about inhaling, the diffuser is very key to changing the environment in a room and having your cells, your very cells, also smell in the aroma, actually inhale the aroma, as the article from the New York Times showed.
Right, right, yeah. This, you cannot, there is no way to replicate this kind of value for $160. There's no, I mean, there isn't any set of substances that you can acquire to bring into your home to support your well-being and your, and help you manage the toxicity, the stress, the high levels of acid, all of the allergens, all of the pathogens that come into your home. There's no way to replicate the value that you would get that compares to this kit for $160. There's nothing that you can get for $160 that would do those things for you that you would get from this set of oils in your life. I can't, there's just no way to do it. The thieves, in terms of how you can reduce the this is the one that provides the cleaning power. And when I say cleaning power, I mean not just for your physical environment, but for your body. I want to go back to the thieves thing here, because I just think it's just so critical to helping you to maintain. Here we go. Thieves is this is what I'm talking about, especially this time of year. Strep throat, household germs, mold, the bronchitis, as I said, the fungus, the fungus that just kind of just lives around, in your household, on your body. You can't fight it for, in a way that is better for you than through this thieves oil, this thieves kit. I mean, as Niyama was telling you the story of how the thieves, literally, who were robbing bodies that were dying of bubonic plague, yet they were able to withstand, getting the plague themselves, because of the combination of oils that are available in this one bottle of essential oil. You can't not have it in your life. No, I'm very serious. I mean, the stress levels that we get. We're in a high stress season right now. We're 3 or 4 days away of women. If you're cooking for your household, what that's going to be like. Sometimes it's fun, but it's still, even when it's fun, because you've got other people in your kitchen helping you, it's still a high stress time. You don't want arguments to get started, right? You want your stress away so that you can actually enjoy the frenetic energy that
Right.
is about to jump off, okay,
Yes.
in this season. You want the joy oil, in order to be light about the about the kinds of conversations that are going to happen. We just came. I'm a political animal. I don't know if anybody else on here is, but when family members get together and we start talking about post-election results, you want some joy in those conversations because they will get heated. Okay, you want some frankincense in those conversations because you want people to stay on a high level. Okay,
So,
we don't want
Shakira,
to start. Yes.
is there a way to get to the Young Living website?
Oh, yes, yes,
It's
I can do
one
that.
minute to one. It's 1 minute to one.
Got it. Okay, let me do that. Let me go in
And
here.
what we want to do is wrap this up. For those of you who are left on the call, we had a couple of people leave. Maybe some of you are still there. I hope so. And
Mm-hmm.
we want to invite you to join us as members or to consider membership and to consider changing your life and rejoining if that's where you are in the state of possibly rejoining us.
Mm-hmm.
My team is a Hillmobile team. Shakira's team is Alchemy.
Shakira's alchemy. Yep.
Shakira's Alchemy. And
Let me
so,
let me let me stop the screen share, and then I can see if this
well, we're all
website will.
together. We're working together, and we want
You're all on the
these
same team.
oils
Exactly.
in everyone's home. So that's key. We'd love you to have the oils in your home. We can support you with training. We don't want you to be afraid of essential oils. We want you to understand how essential they are. As everyone's getting a juicer these days, and what do? A lot of us let the juicer be in our kitchen garage and just sit there. We don't want that to happen with you if you've been exposed to, like Finn has, the oil of oregano. We want you to use them. We want you
Right.
to broaden your association and familiarity with essential oils. So this is the Young Living Essential Oils website, and as you see, it's all over the country, all over the world.
Yeah, I should have stayed on that page a little bit longer to show the number of countries that the people are where people are taking advantage of the oils.
That's right.
But this is the site.
Yes, and you see it says member sign up, and you can just go there and consult with me or Shakira, and become affiliated. If you're re-upping, in other words, if you haven't ordered in over a year or are unsure of that, you can get back to me or back to her and let us know what it is you'd like to do. But it's just a no-brainer. Um, this is a company that I have total affection for, and it's a wonderful place to be in because everything is so mechanized and so technological and so fraught with automation that there's very little out here in the world of consumer products that actually brings people closer together and has them loving themselves and has them growing. We have a line called Balance and Grow. That's all about helping you grow in whatever area of life you're in. It could be you're at your job, it could be at your private business, it could be your schoolwork. Balance and grow. And who out there is actually doing that kind of thinking about how we live our lives? So I invite you to join us, and if you want to text or call either one of us in the next few moments, please do. The company is open 7 days a week as of this year. It was not so. It's a huge effort. Earlier on, we showed you the names of some other oil companies that are online. None of them are as big as Young Living, or as expensive, or as they don't have as many products and don't have the training and other things that we do have. So it's an open invitation, and I invite
Is
you to
this
take advantage of
is
it.
this I'm sorry, is this the diffuser that we get in the 160 kit?
That is the home diffuser. That is one of the home diffusers that you're
Right.
pointing to right there.
Yeah, and this is the one that comes in the kit for 160.
All I can say is that that's a home. I can't
Okay.
answer because
You
I
don't
don't
know.
have that
Okay, got
kit.
it.
I don't
Got
have
it.
that.
Okay.
Because
All right.
even that kit has changed. Almost every time we get a new kit, it is improved.
That's true. We get
I
a
don't
new
want to
diffuser.
promise you that kit is something different.
Yeah, but in any event, so just to say that I just want to reiterate that whether you call Niamo or you call me or you call Olga, if Olga was the one who invited you, or Amini. Amini is another colleague of ours. Regardless of who you call, we just encourage you to bring these oils into your life. I am, just a heartfelt, dedicated advocate for you to have wellness in your life. I don't think that we as a community can have a strong community when people in the community and people inside of the community are suffering from, physical debilitations, mental, emotional, psychological debilitations that can be addressed or supported with something like the material from a plant. It's a very uh, clean, simple answer for challenges that our community is facing. And, we need everybody to be healthy in order for our community to thrive. I don't know, but that you may be the person who discovers a new process to, I don't know, power motor engines with water. But or you or your child, but you or your child may not have the capacity to do that if you're battling environmental toxins, stress, inflammation in your body. You can't think. You can only focus on what you need to do day to day to just get by. I want you to do better than get by. I want you to thrive. And these products help you to thrive. And so I encourage you to get the 10 oils that are in this basic kit. Get the 10 oils, bring them into your life, see what they can do for you, see how they help you to create a thriving existence, not just an existence of survival. We want to do more than survive. We want to thrive. And so that is how I will end my piece of this. Niamo, by all means, you have the last word. I can't hear you. I don't know. Did you mute or something? Can't hear you.
I did mute because I got a phone call, but here I am.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. There you are. I hear you now.
I invite those of you I invited to join me, and those of you who are in Canada, I have a couple of contacts there with whom you can coordinate. So let's talk. You must have these oils. That's it. I love you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We're going to end the broadcast here. You'll be able to watch it again. You just go to YouTube. We're going to publish it. And thank you for joining us. We will have other webinars in the future. They probably won't be quite so long. We will cover some additional topics. We'll be talking about post-slavery stress syndrome in a couple of weeks. Be on the lookout for the link to that. We'll talk about other issues as well related to these things. Maybe I'll ask Niamo to do a smaller hangout on the frequencies of the oils and how these oils have an energetic quality about them that can really that you can use to your advantage to really kind of shift what's going on in your life. Maybe I'll tell you then about the transformation oil that I used to release a 24-year marriage that needed to end 14 years before that, or 10 years before that, but we didn't do it. So anyway, but transformation oil, I swear by it. Anyway, we will talk again soon. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care, Niamo. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.